Welcome, big day, big day. Good.
He was the one that could do them. Boy, Williams.
Natural.
This event's been in planning with a few of us for probably 6-8 months, and we all just wondered, you know, how big the crowd may be, and yeah, the crowd's big. Sammy, you bring out quite a crowd, you know. Back on September 26th of 2009, we opened up our Post Journal, and there on page 2 is the picture of Emery Man. Emery Man, we had lost him. Greg and Randy and I have talked for several years about trying to capture some of this history, and now we realized we lost a key figure in that process and we needed to get at it. So it was on Saturday, October 17th, 2009, we headed off to Brockway to see Squirt Johns, and we ended up that afternoon running over and seeing Marv Thorpe too. And on the way back we said, you know, we ought to try to see if we can interview the top 10 drivers in that era. Well, ultimately, one interview led to another. We were having a lot of fun, a lot of stories. One driver would say, oh, you gotta interview this next one. So 50 interviews later, that resulted in the creation of that first movie, State Line Speedway, the first 10 years. But you can imagine trying to capture 10 years with all those interviews. There's a tremendous amount of very rare, unique, very special, I might say, footage that ended up on the cutting room floor. And that's what's led to these subsequent movies. So we had the first movie on Squirt, Bobby, and now we're delighted to feature the most well-known stock car driver from Jamestown, New York, Sammy LaMancuso. And as I said before, without Greg Peterson and his camera, and Randy Anderson with hours of research and pulling together, this would not happen. And I want to take a minute and give Greg and Randy, if you join me, a round of applause.
Worked so hard. It's just unbelievable. There's really not a really good answer to that. But then I found out that my sister and brother-in-law used to bring my mother over on the highway down at Stockton, and they used to watch from the road. But I can remember overhearing my parents after I won one of the big races. They had company that day, and the trophy was on the dining room table. And I heard my father talking about what a champion I was and all that. But he never said it to me directly. Well, I think they'd be very proud. I really do.
All done. So now you can sit and enjoy.
Pretty tight. So what do you think, Chief?
All good.